Today I'm coming at you with a shifter fix that I learned about. There's a couple different fixes for it. For Jeeps, I'm a Toyota guy, so I'm just going to do the Jeep guys a favor real quick. Plus I got a girlfriend with the Jeep, so it's my problem too. Anyways, so if your Jeep doesn't come with one of these, you know, like it should, and unfortunately it comes with one of these, the dummy shifter. Okay, I don't need that. You may have experienced an issue with this little guy. What this is, it's the piece inside the shifter that when you press the button, this is pushing down in the, I guess the shift selector, gear selector, called gear selector. And so what happens is this plastic wears off over time. And when you go to press the button, you either can't get it out of park or you can't get it back into park, so you're kind of stranded. So I'm going to show you a couple fixes to fix that using random things that might be in your glove box, like chopsticks and a Bic pen. Look at that. That's a Bic pen. Or you can use brake line, anything long and skinny. But yeah, so we'll get to it. Oh, and the only tool you need, I'm just going to be using a pair of regular lineman's pliers so that I can cut it to length. So if you have a Jeep with the A340, whatever, AW4 Aisin transmission, I guess it's called AW4 in a Jeep, sorry that was the Toyota number. Then it's got this shifter style. So Cherokee, Grand Cherokee, TJ, WJ, a couple of Grand Cherokees. Anywho, this thing has one fatal flaw, and that's in when you are depressing your shifter, it's pushing down a plastic rod that wears out over time. So we're going to fix it with a couple of things. We'll fix it with just your average chopstick here, and with the Bic pen. So fortunately this Bic pen has already been through the washer and the dryer, so it's pretty much inkless. Wish I could say the same about my clothes. To take this thing off, you just give it an old whack. And it pops off there. Super simple. Just some clips. It's got these two slots on the, keyways on the side that slide into these slots, and then this is the culprit. This is the anal bead that we're after. It really does look like an anal bead, though. It does. What happens is this little tip wears down over time. So what we're going to do is recreate it using a chopstick or this Bic pen. Like so. So basically what this does, sits down in there, and you press your button, it presses this down so that you can shift it out of gear. What this Jeep did to me the other day was it stranded me because I was going to push the button and it wouldn't come out of gear. First it did it to me in neutral, and I couldn't figure out what was going on, so I just disconnected the battery and left it in, pulled the e-brake and left it in neutral, and then I did some research and found out about this. It really should be called the anal beads because it's a pain in the ass. Anywho, basically the chopstick does the same thing. So you can hear it activating the switch. So if we put the key back in the ignition, you can shift it with the chopstick. I should be able to shift it with the chopstick. Sweet. This is about as close your automatic is going to come to being a stick shift, right? This is the closest thing an automatic will come to being a stick shift because it's got a chopstick in it. Is that lame? Is that a dad joke? Are you leaving? The next step is going to be to take our pliers and cut this chopstick to be just a little bit longer than the anal bead. That's just what I'm going to call it. I'm sure it's got a technical term that some Chrysler engineer came up with. So I'm just going to start with 1/8 of an inch longer. That's a millimeter for people who use the metric system. And then I'm going to cut it. Bam. That's it. That's the wedding. I'm going to stick that down in there, like so. There we go. See if she shifts. I bet it works worse than before. Yep, I broke it. Now I can't even get the damn key out. Oh shit. Alright, put the chopstick in. Make sure it gets in the little hole down at the bottom. Is that it? No, that's not it. I think that's it. Right on. Oh, gotta put the button on the right side.
The left side.
The left side, yeah. This is supposed to work the first time! Alright, so the chopstick was more of a pain in the ass than anything. I think it could work in a pinch, but I only got it like one time. Did it 3 or 4 times. I think that's proof that it could work. It could get you unstranded, but you could just take the shifter off and push the button. Now we're going to try the Bic Pen method. So I'm going to start by taking this whole ink cartridge piece out and throw it on the floor. I think what I'll do, cut this just a hair longer. And it's gone forever. Okay, so then this should just go right in there. And then this is going to go right on there. Oh, it is working. Yes.
Cool. That's awesome. That's so awesome. Let's fix that shit with the Bic Pen. Up to this point, we've tried the 2 different options that we had available. One being the chopstick and the other being the Bic Pen. Cut down to length. Both are cut down to length. To replace the factory shift rod, we'll call it, anal bead. First we did the chopstick, and I was able, the first couple times I struggled to get it to line up inside the shifter, but I was able to get it at least one time to line up with this hole and with the linkage down below. The thing that I had the best luck with first time was the Bic Pen. As soon as I removed the ink and cut the end of it off, like I said, a little bit longer than this, about 1/8 of an inch, it shifted perfectly the first time and every time since then. And that works out the best, considering that everybody's probably going to have a pen in their car. Whereas a chopstick, maybe you're one of those food delivery people and you have a bunch of chopsticks. I don't know. If all else fails, buy a stick shift. That's it. That's what I got.
I don't know how to close it. I'm just like, yep. Oh, this is still recording. This button?